completely different. It's Wars of Monty Python. We now have the Sisterhood taking responsibility for chapters 4 and 5. Here's Sisterhood.
I'd like to introduce Sisterhood in the spirit of Shakespeare.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Sisterhood in chapters 4 and 5.
Before we get started, I'm Haman, and your boos and shouts have been pathetic. In this chapter, make me feel the hate.
Now when Mordecai knew all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out in the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. He came even before the king's gate, for none might enter within the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. In every province, wherever the king's decree came, there was a great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, weeping, wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Esther's maidens and her chamberlains came and told it to her, and the queen was exceedingly pained, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, to take his sackcloth off from him, but he accepted it not. Then called Esther for Hathloth, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and charged him to go to Mordecai to know what this was and why it was. So Hathloth went forth to Mordecai unto the broad place of the city, which was before the king's gate. Mordecai told him of all that happened unto him, the exact sum of money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasurers for Jews to destroy them. Also he gave him the copy of writing of the decree. Still there? That was given out in Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare unto her, to charge her that she should go in unto the king, to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people. Hathloth came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Then Esther spoke unto Hathloth, and gave him a message unto Mordecai.
All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king and into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law for him, that he be put to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, and that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai bade them to return answer unto Esther.
Think not within thyself that thou shalt escape the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then will relief and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house will perish. And who knoweth whether thou art not come to royal estate for such a time as this?
Then Esther bade them return answer unto Mordecai.
Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast in like manner, and so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I shall perish.
So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther commanded him. Chapter 5. Esther approaches the king. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the entrance of the house. Where are we? At the house. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the king unto her,
Yes, dear. Would you like some beer? Wait, I have an extra one just for you. But if that's not enough, whatever you would like, up to half my kingdom, can be yours.
My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it pleases the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
All right.
Then the king said,
Fine. This is my last beer, so cause Haman to hurry. Stop at Canals. Pick me up another case and some kosher snacks, and have everything else done, as Esther has said. Get me a bottle opener.
Then answered Esther and said,
My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and glad of heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, Haman was filled with wrath against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, went home. He sent and fetched his friends and dressed his wife. Haman recounted unto them the glory of his riches, and the multitude of his children, and everything as to how the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Haman said, moreover,
Yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared, but myself. And tomorrow also am I invited by her together with the king. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate.
Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him,
Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and in the morning speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet.
And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
The thing pleased who? Whom did it please?
Haman.